I've been interested in model airplanes ever since I was 6 years old when I built my first one. And through the years, I've continued to build them. And about the time I was in ninth grade, I had a social studies course where the teacher liked to have the students study different kinds of occupations. And so we read and were told about different occupations. We had to interview different people. And then each one of us was expected to choose an occupation and do an in-depth paper on it and present it verbally to the class. So my father suggested, well, you just load up on all the science and math you can and see if you can handle it, because I did my study on aeronautical engineering. And that worked out, and I continued my study, and when I graduated I was called into the Navy right away. But after I got out of the Navy, I enrolled at UC. Just before I got in the Navy, I talked to the Dean of Engineering at the Tulsa University, and he had just come from Cincinnati. And I asked him about enrolling in his program, Aeronautical Engineering, and he said, well, our program is just barely getting off the ground. I really wouldn't recommend it, but I really think you'd enjoy that Cincinnati program where they have a co-op program. Well, that sounded good to me, and I was all ready to enroll, but I was called in the service. And while in the service, I applied, and when I got out of the service, in 3 weeks, I was on campus at UC after I got out of the service, and was able to start my education there. I felt that I had some very good professors. I had some very good classmates with which we worked. We developed a real fine teamwork amongst us, and the co-op experience that I got through University of Cincinnati was every bit, if not more, than what I expected. I was very fortunate to get a job at Wright Field as my co-op job, and I was in all the different laboratories out there. It was a wonderful experience. By the time I graduated, I had about 2.5 years worth of experience that was useful to an employer. But shortly after I was out there, I was contacted by my last co-op supervisor, who had said that University of Dayton was forming this new research group and would like to have me join that staff, and that he was recommending me because he had had me as his student during my last co-op job. And so I, at that time, made the decision to come back to University of Dayton. Never set foot on campus. I was guaranteed only 7 months worth of work, but I came anyway, and that turned into 41 years. Consequently, I was able to have a fine career, and I couldn't have asked for anything more. I wouldn't do anything differently, and I would be very happy if I were a young man to go back to the University of Cincinnati.